The RFMS Credit Card Services console offers a convenient and easy way to take payments when an RFMS invoice doesn't exist. How is this accomplished? Well, from the RFMS CCS console, you'll select over-the-counter payments. You'll click Insert to begin a new payment. Now, the reference number typically for this screen has been for an invoice number, an over-the-counter invoice number, but in this case, we actually don't know the RFMS invoice number, but you may want to enter in some reference that indicates who took the payment or something. It really isn't a necessary field. And I'm going to take a $50 payment. I'm going to do a manual payment, so I'm going to put in my I'm going to put in my card number. I'm going to put in my customer's name, the expiration date. You may have noticed I didn't put a slash in there. I just typed 12/22. You could actually type in 0122 to get January of 22. I'll put in the billing address. Now, this may seem redundant, but as you know, the customer's invoice does not exist, so this is the best we can do. And I'll put in an email address. I can actually send that, so I'm going to put a weird email address in there, and then I'll click Authorize. Usually takes about 5 seconds for these EMV transactions to process. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my green check mark, meaning I got an approval, and my approval code TAS854. So now I've got this payment for $50, and it's time to assign that. And this is the process that the back office staff would do. Nonetheless, I'll click the Assign button. Now the invoice number is primed from the invoice or reference number that I had from the payment screen. But that's not my actual RFMS invoice. Now let's assume that the RFMS invoice number has been created, and sure enough it's here. I actually have already created it in the back end. It's Tom Jones, the balance due of $95. But my payment is only going to be for $45 or $50, as you can see. So let's start that over so don't get confused. I've got my $50 payment. I'll click my Assign button. I'll type in my CG60005 5. I'll click OK. It says that invoice has a balance of 0. That's probably because I did pick the wrong one. Let me assign that again. This is probably why you should use the lookup button in this case, because indeed my Tom Jones invoice is not 005, it's 006. I'll select that one, or I could have typed it in. And my payment's gone, and if I go back over to my RFMS invoice, highlight that again, pull up my payments, you can see that indeed a $50 payment and a balance of $45 has been created. So let's go ahead and do that again within the over-the-counter payments window so you can see the whole process. I click the Insert key. In this case, I'm going to type in my actual RFMS invoice number since I do know it. My payment amount of $45, but this time I'm going to do a token transaction because I've already received that payment from this gentleman's credit card, so why not select token and look up Mr. Tom Jones. Pick the token that we have on file for Mr. Jones. Confirm the expiration date of January of 22 and authorize that. Again, 3, 4, 5. We get our approval. And now we have another payment prepared to assign. The back office staff in this case are going to have the benefit of having the invoice number primed. So they simply click OK. Now this invoice with a balance of $45, we're going to assign a payment of $45. And again, if I go back over to my RFMS invoice, do a little up down on it so that the balance refreshes. Actually, RFMS won't refresh that until the screen completely repopulates. But not to worry, if we look in the receipts list, we can see that our $50 payment and our $45 payments have both been assigned to the RFMS invoice. And if we scroll over here to the right so you can see those confirmation numbers, you can see indeed our TAS854 and TAS856, which if we go to the credit card batch settlement window in RFMS, we can see that indeed TAS854 and TAS856 were the payments that we received in this case. This concludes a video showing the benefits, the awesome way to take a payment when the RFMS invoice has not been created. Billy, this is for you, and everyone else, I thank you for your time.